This is South Bank. Normally one of the busiest place in London. But see what change has done and how people are coping with change. For change is inevitable. And like people say, the only thing constant is change. So today we're going to talk about how to cope with change. And when change occurs, what should we do? Most of the time we feel that when the change is happening, it is only we who are affected. It's individuals who are affected. But we realize that it's not only us, but it's others too who are affected by change. And like people are protecting themselves with coronavirus by wearing masks, in a similar fashion, people are wearing masks all the time to protect their inner fragile self, to protect their pain, to protect their loneliness. And that is why the American psychiatrist Charles A. Fiennes, he says in his poem, "Don't be fooled by me. Don't be fooled by the face I wear. I wear a mask. I wear 1,000 masks. Masks that I'm afraid to take off and none of them are me. Pretending is an art that is second nature to me. So don't be fooled. Please, for God's sake, don't be fooled. I give the impression that I'm secure, that all is sunny and unruffled with me, within as well as without. That confidence is my name, coolness is my game. That the water is calm, I'm in command, that I need no one. But don't be fooled. Please, for God's sake, don't be fooled. My surface may be smooth, but my surface is my mask. My ever-wearing, ever-concealing mask. Beneath lies no complacence. Beneath lies fear, anger, and confusion. But I hide it. I don't want anybody to know. That's why I frantically create a mask to hide behind. A nonchalant, sophisticated facade to shield me from the one who knows." And then in the end he asks the question, "Who am I, you may wonder? I'm every man you meet. I'm every woman you meet. And I'm right in front of you." Continuing with the interviews with the frontline staff, people who put their life on their line every single day, day in and day out, and working with professionalism, dedication, determination, and with a smile on their face. And right now, we have one of the top professionals of London, Mr. Ahmed. Good morning, Mr. Ahmed.
Good morning.
Tell us, in a climate like this, how should a person cope with change?
To start with, the government has given directives for what people to do to stay safe, like staying indoors, doing the social distancing, and then avoiding gathering, and being in places where they are not supposed to be, to stay at home. So in a nutshell, if they follow all those guidelines, I think everybody will do their bit to stay safe.
How would you deal with your colleagues who are afraid of change?
It's just a matter of encouraging them that there is nothing to fear about once you follow the guidelines that the government has put forward, and using the hand sanitizers, washing your hands, social distancing, wearing a mask and all that is is the best way to do, and there's nothing to worry about. Once you keep all those regulations in place, you follow all the regulations, then you'll be okay.
What message would you give to the world to tackle change, anxiety, pressure for the future?
We should all try as much as we can to look out for each other. This has shown us people have come together to help each other out. People who are vulnerable, the elderly and older, people go out of their way to help them. Hopefully, we should continue with that.
Mr. Ahmad, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much indeed.
You're welcome.
It's over 100 days when the war with coronavirus had started. And as we are moving forward, we come once again with the brave, the brilliant, and the brazen who are in the front line fighting this war every single day. And we are back to Nilton. And today we're going to ask Nilton how we can cope with the future, the unforeseen future. Morning, Nilton.
Hi again.
Tell us, how does one cope up with the unforeseen future?
We definitely can't predict the future, so take one day at a time is what I say.
What message would you give to your colleagues, with people around you who are going through this kind of future anxiety?
Well, as the days come through, just take it slow. Always pray about it beforehand if you're not unsure of anything, and just go slowly. You know, try not to rush things, because changes can be very dramatic. And just as we heard now, you know, lockdown is kind of easing in and there's new steps coming through. Just make sure that you are safe before trying anything, before stepping out or anything. Safety always first, as you know, is a C2C motto. And again, just put God first. Pray about it. Stay focused on what's important.
What message would you give to the world, a personal message, in a time like this?
All I can say is that, you know, there's a song actually. I'll give you a song. There's a song by Jessica Reedy that goes like, life it can leave you so bitter, 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 but you must believe it'll get better, better, better. It's alright, dry your eyes, send a prayer to the skies. You must believe it'll get better.
Well done, Nilton. We are proud of you.
No worries.
Moving on with a series on coping with change. Once again, we are back here this morning, and we have a professional Tom, a frontline staff, and we're going to take this opportunity once again and speak to him and find out how can one cope with change. Morning, Tom.
Morning, Sergio.
How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
So tell us, Tom, how does one cope with change?
Yeah, well, it's important that when there is change that we can adapt to it. Because in these times of lockdown, of possible recovery, we have to be able to roll with the punches and change our perspectives constantly.
How would you inspire people around you to cope with change?
Well, myself, I've had a lot of changes in my life. I haven't been able to see my family and vice versa, so they haven't been able to see me. So the way I deal with it is I just remember that, you know, we're all having to cope with this together. So it's important to keep that perspective.
What message would you give to the world who are afraid, who are anxious and fearing with the change coming?
Well, it's important to realise that this lockdown, this situation is going to be over at some point. So not be too overeager for it, but just realise that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So that'll be my perspective on this, you know.
Tom, thank you once again.
No problem, Sam.
Much appreciated.
You're welcome.
Moving forward with a topic on coping with change. Once again, we are back in Waitress. And we are going to speak none other than Pastor Philip and take his opinion on how one can cope with change. Good evening, Pastor Philip.
Good evening, Sanjay.
How are you today?
Well, I'm fine. Thank you.
Moving on, we are into a new topic. How would one cope with change?
It is said that change is the only permanent situation. All other things will change, but change remains permanent. Like we were young, now we are old. There's a change. But people find it difficult changing because they're always loving it in their comfortable zone. But change is inevitable. How to adopt to change is also another topic. I mean, another situation like. But Jesus gave a parable. He said, two people build their house, one on the rock, one on the sand. The wind came, the storm came, and the rain fell. The one who built his house on the sand, when it fell, it crumbled. But the one who built his house on the rock, when it fell, the house stood still. Why? There was a change. But that dramatic change, the guy who had his house on the rock stood. Because change, if you suffer a change and you're not ready, you will suffer and suffer miserably. But if you suffer a change and you have Jesus Christ as your rock, you will stand. Change, like I said, is inevitable. But how you will make it totally depend on you. So I will urge everybody to have it at the back of their mind that change will come. This COVID-19 has brought about a change in the lives of people. People have really suffered a change. Some have died, some remain, some will forever not be better. But how are you going to cope? It will depend on you. Are you going to fold your arms between your legs and weep all your life? Or are you going to rise up and go about change? But I would advise you to rise up, go above change, and with the help of Jesus Christ, you will make it.
Once again, Pastor Philip, it's been a privilege and a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. You're always welcome.
Moving on a series on coping with change, we are back once again with our superstar, Stan William Singh, who's been working continuously, day in and day out, to fulfill his duties. And we are going to ask Stan once again, Morning, Stan.
Morning, Sanjay.
Tell us, with all these insecurities coming up, changes coming up, how do you think people should cope with change?
Basically, change, you're going to have to embrace it. Change is a thing that you can't stop, especially in a situation like we've had now, what we're having now. Things are going to change, so basically it's making advanced preparation for when this change arrives. Think about a few ideas in your head, what you're going to do, your own lifestyle, they may have to change a bit, but basically try and prepare for the change the best way you can and make it the best you can.
How would you inspire people to cope with change?
Right, okay. So, yeah, as I said before, change is going to affect people in different ways. Some people don't like change. Some people are uncomfortable with trying to adapt to the change. So an idea is, for example, when this all comes to pass, you're going to find that you're going to get high inflation. You're going to get rising taxes and so forth. So your social distancing obviously will still be in place. So you won't be as close to people as you would like to be. So therefore we have this means video calling, messaging, texting and so on. And then you've got to change your lifestyle by way of budgeting so you can prepare for the change. If the worst should hit you, then you're prepared for it. And also keep active, researching the things that we were doing before that we're not so much doing now. The new things that we've had to adapt to during isolation and so forth. Try to maintain your interest on that. That way you broaden your horizons and you can prepare for a change and perhaps live life.
What message would you give to the people?
Well, I would say keep doing what you're doing, make advanced preparation, keep in touch with people, family, friends, whether it's in another country or in a different area, your family, your elderly. Charity work is great. Get yourself more involved, and the interests that you've got, your newfound interest, then try to broaden them and obviously do different things. I would say, yeah, that all helps cope with change.
Thanks, Stan. Much appreciated.
You're very welcome, Sanjay. Thank you.
I'm standing in front of the majestic St. Paul's Cathedral, a symbol of faith, a symbol of endurance, a symbol of strength. And this is where we can conclude how to cope with change. And the only thing that comes in my mind is the serenity prayer, which says, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And all we can do to cope with any change is to let go and let God.